Okay, good morning. Welcome to the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, September 22nd. I'm your chair, Sean Flowerday. With me is Vice Chair and Commissioner Rick Vest, Commissioner Deb Shore, Commissioner Roma Amundsen, and Commissioner Krista Yoakum. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Clerk, please begin.
A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located on the wall at the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, a copy of our written material to discuss today's open meeting is available from the county clerk staff at the front of the hearing room. The material can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Agenda item 1 are minutes. Approve the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held on Tuesday, September 15, 2020.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundsen,
Yes.
Yoakum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 2 are claims. Approval of all claims processed through September 22nd, 2020.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundsen,
Yes.
Yoakum,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 3 are consent items. These are routine business items that are expected to be adopted without dissent. Any individual item may be removed for special discussion and consideration by a commissioner or by any member of the public without prior notice. Unless there's an exception, these items will be approved as one. With a single vote of the Board of Commissioners, these items are approval of grant award with Nebraska Crime Commission for community-based supplemental enhancement aid grant funding for the period of July 1st, 2020 through June 30, 2021, in the amount of $246,094. Subawards with the following: YWCA of Lincoln for the Life Skills Program, Clyde Malone Community Center for the Take Pause 2 and Therapy programs, Cedar Youth Services for the Crisis Stabilization Program. Grant contracts with the following: Clyde Malone Community Center for the Take Pause 2 program, Clyde Malone Community Center for the Therapist program. Amendments to the following county contracts: C-17-755 with Total Fire and Security and for annual service, fire alarm panel inspection, testing, and repair. C-13-232 with Kiev Commissary Network LLC for inmate commissary services. C-17-768 with Midwest Service and Sales Company for annual supply, grater blades. C-20-284 with M.E. Collins Contracting Company, Inc. for unit price, Shot Creek application for Lancaster County. Right-of-way contracts with the following: David and Linda Potter, North 14th Street and Bluff Road, in the amount of $474. Randall Bronsworth, South 100th Street and Woodstruck Road, in the amount of $109. Constance M. Hansmeyer, Southwest 100th Street and West Hallam Road, in the amount of $380. Mark and Judah Sullivan, trustees, North 14th Street and West McKelvey Road, in the amount of $474. Warren and Melanie Cheney, Mary Ranking and Barbara Scheib, South 148th Street and Saltillo Road, in the amount of $1,713. 12th Amendment to County Contract C-8-151 with the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services for a disproportionate share hospital intergovernmental transfer agreement. The amendment renews agreement from July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021.
Move approval of the consent items. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Yoakum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundsen,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Next is number 4, public hearings. 4A is a setting the final tax request at a different amount than the prior year tax request for Lancaster County and the Rural Library for Lancaster County. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. All right, good morning. Dennis Meyer, County Budget and Fiscal Director. Today's public hearing is really the last hearing that we need to do on the 2021 budget document. Statute out there requires that if the property tax dollar amount changes from one year to the next, you must do this public hearing and adopt a resolution. That resolution then is forwarded to the county clerk's office, because in a couple, 3 weeks, levies will be set. So as far as this hearing goes, with dollar amounts changing, that really occurs every year. So this hearing, occurs on a daily basis. So what we're talking about is this resolution will just kind of, again, finalize what our property tax dollar amounts were adopted back on August 25th when the budget was adopted. So in this resolution, what will be in there is that the county tax rate will be 28.1576. That is a property tax dollars of $82,516,751. We also include the rural library in this resolution, and their tax rate this year will be 1.7486 cents, which is $927,722. So the other information that is required to be published and included in this resolution is, we do note what happened with the valuations for both the county and the rural library. The valuation increase for the county was 2.79%. The valuation increase for the rural library was 1.20%. The last thing that will be noted in the resolution and was published was that the total operating budget of Lancaster County will decrease from last year's by 1.33%. So the requirement is to note how much is the budget either going up or down. This year, it's actually decreasing by 1.33%. So we've discussed all the budget numbers as we've gone through the process. This is just the final piece, the final resolution, so that we can get the resolution to the county clerk's office so levies can be set. Questions? Okay.
Are there any members of the public wishing to speak on this issue, setting the final tax request at a different amount than the prior tax request? Seeing no members of the public wishing to speak on this, going once, going twice, we will close the public hearing and move on to 4B.
The next public hearing is Section 147F of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 is amended regarding the issuance of bonds by the county for the benefit of Christian Retirement Homes, Inc., doing business as Eastmont Living. If I could swear you in, do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Colleen Duncan, Colleen Duncan. I am a partner at Gilmore and Bell. We are the county's bond counsel. This hearing and the related resolution relate to the issuance of tax-exempt bonds by the county for the benefit of Eastmont. The proceeds of the bond issue will be loaned to Eastmont and used to refinance much of their outstanding obligations for savings and also finance some capital expenditures at their campus here in Lincoln. As noted in the resolution, the county has no financial responsibility for the bonds whatsoever, whether for payment of the bonds or costs related to the bond issuance. All of those are paid by Eastmont. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Andrew Fisher, who's the executive director of Eastmont, is here today as well to answer any questions you might have about the facility of the project.
We were
Very
pretty
good.
thorough the first time. Yeah.
Right.
Either you've made this so clear that we totally get it, or we have no idea what you're talking about. We're going to leave you wondering which one it is. No, we talked about this before, and it's a great project. We're glad to have it in our community, so.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Are there any other members of the public here to speak on item 4B? Any members of the public here to speak on 4B, section 147F of the Internal Revenue Code? All right, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. We'll move on to new business.
New business 5A is a resolution in a matter of setting the 2020-2021 property tax request for Lancaster County and the rural library for Lancaster County at a different amount than that of the prior year.
I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. B is a resolution authorizing the issuance of revenue bonds, Series 2020, in the principal amount not to exceed $15,500,000 for the purpose of making a loan to Christian Retirement Homes, Inc., doing business as Eastmont Living, authorizing the execution and delivery of certain documents in connection with the issuance of such bonds, and approving related matters.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. C is a resolution in matter of authorizing the county board chair to sign the on-call professional services task order agreement with Alfred Benish and Company.
Move approval?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. This is an agreement for our on-call wetlands delineation and reporting for projects that need Army Corps of Engineers permitting.
Very good. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 5D is a resolution in a matter of authorizing the county board chair to sign the on-call professional services task order agreement with Felsberg, Holt, and Ullvig.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. This contract is for on-call traffic studies. Sometimes we just need a little bit of a traffic study that isn't necessarily a large dollar amount to give us clarification on an intersection, and that's the intent of this particular contract.
Are there financial limits on these task order agreements?
Yes, there are on both of them. It is contained within the document. I believe it's $25,000 each.
Okay. Move approval?
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. E is an agreement with Alfred Benish and Company for on-call professional services task order agreement for preliminary NEPA services. Consultant shall complete all services by October 31st, 2020. The total estimated cost is $11,860.67.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. This is for 98th Street between A and O, which of course is the mile south of O that isn't open yet. I do have a clarification to this agenda item. This agenda item is not for NEPA, but is for preliminary engineering.
Okay, move approval.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 5F is an agreement with Felsberg, Holt, and Ullvig for on-call professional services task order agreement for preliminary NEPA services. Consultant shall complete all services by October 31st, 2020. The total estimated cost is $10,801.52.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. The intent of this agreement is for the environmental services associated with preliminary environmental services. So to some extent, this is to scope the scope, unfortunately, which is a requirement of the Federal Highway Administration, and preliminary environmental services for the stretch of 98th Street between A and O.
Okay.
We'll move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. G is adoption of the 2021 Lancaster County legislative priorities.
Commissioners, Joe Cohout, appearing with Brennan Miller, who is seated in the audience, here to answer any questions.
Just for clarification, the 6 items are not listed in order of priority. They are all of equal priority to the board.
Correct.
I would move approval.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? I think it's a good list. What do you think? Like, what's this year going to be like?
Yet to be seen, Commissioner. I mean, I think there are a lot of unknown variables out there in the equation with regards particularly to what does, are we going to be back in the building? What are hearings going to look like? What, I think certainly the legislature will be back in the building. I don't want that, but what will be the scope of allowing folks into hearings? What kind of accommodations are they going to make in those circumstances where folks can't be in the building because of masking requirements or health requirements? So it's going to be I think the next few months are going to be very telling with regards to that process. And I think looking at our priority list, I think it's an aggressive list, and I think it recognizes those priorities which this board has worked on historically, but also simultaneously kind of what those new areas that we're kind of going into are. So I think it's a good list, and I think it'll be certainly, there's a lot of variables out there, including the election. What does that look like? What are we looking at by way of membership? So we'll see. And where do committee assignments go? So lots of things still that we need to work on. So.
All right.
That's why we need smart people like the two of you keeping us informed, Joe. Thank you.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm lost. Do we have a motion?
We do.
We're set. All right. Any further discussion after that? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson, Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
5H is a special designated license application from James Arthur Vineyards for an event at 2001 West Raymond Road, Raymond, Nebraska, on October 7th, 2020.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. I is Lancaster County Visitors Improvement Grant Contract in amount of up to $25,000 with Lancaster County as a sponsor and Lincoln Calling as a grantee for promotion and advertising is provided in the contract. The term of the grant period is April 1st, 2020 through October 31st, 2020.
Good morning. Jeff Mall, Executive Director of the Convention and Visitors Bureau here in beautiful Lincoln, Nebraska. I can't say that enough. So it's great to see all of you, and I want to recognize David Durbin. This is one that we had a chance to work on for the first time together, and it was a little bit of a doozy. It was something a little bit different, and we want to talk about that today with Lincoln Calling. So thank you, David, for your help. The approval for Lincoln Calling was originally made back in February, so pre-pandemic, and it was an approval of $25,000 from the Visitor Improvement Fund. Visitors Committee took a look at it. Great event. We have funded the event in the past, and it was an amazing event as we knew it. We shifted a month, and the event drastically changed. And Spencer went to work really hard. I've got Spencer Munson with Lincoln Calling here, and he did a great job of pivoting. We've used that word quite a bit in the industry and as a culture. And he changed the event altogether. The Visitors Promotion Committee met. They decided to honor the $25,000, and I know we've had some discussions, and I think it was the right thing to do. I think we want to continue to promote the music and the arts in our community as much as possible. So with that, I will let you know that Spencer wants to fill you in on a few details, and obviously thank you for your consideration today.
Yes, thank you. My name is Spencer Munson. I'm the Executive Director of Lincoln Calling. While we normally do 3 days of music in the streets of Lincoln, this year we've pivoted to a digital event. We were still able to work with many of our sponsors that have supported Lincoln Calling through the years, including Downtown Lincoln Association, the city, Allo, Sampson Construction, to name a few. We are taking and supporting not only, there's going to be about 40 to 50 bands, but we're also doing 10 to 15 different community conversations around wellness, sustainability, and entrepreneurship. Each stage, we'll have 2 stages that will exist here in Lincoln, one at the Turbine Flats and one at the Bourbon Theater. And then we have musicians from all over the world that will be streaming in, showcasing art and music. So it will not only be a showcase of what we have here in Lincoln, but we're also bringing arts and culture to our community. I think this also, in between all of the bands that we're having, we're also conveying a bunch of messaging. We worked with the Chamber on conveying different messages about small businesses that have been resilient in our community. We are also conveying a number of messages to help not only our downtown music venues, which are on the brink of closing, but also many of the downtown businesses, restaurants, and was just talking with Jeff on ways that we can help the hotels in a slow period. So this festival will happen October 1st through the 3rd as it was planned. One cool thing is the accessibility. It will be completely free to anybody and everybody. So we hope that not only Lincolnites and Nebraskans tune in, but that folks from all over the world tune in and see that Lincoln is still continuing to thrive during a pandemic.
This is just really exciting. You've put together a tremendous program. There's been a lot of thought going into this. Yeah, thank you so much for your work.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so now the challenging question, I'll send this one to Jeff. The, heads in beds, feet in sheets component of this.
That was the difficult thing, and that was a difficult discussion that we had to have with the Visitors Promotion Committee, and I think the 3 of us had some pretty tough discussions with that. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that this cannot replace a live event. This will not have the impact in any way. There's no way it could. The work that we need to do to make sure that we have venues that can show the music, whether it be our hotel lobbies, our hotel restaurants and bars, and safely allow people in to watch Lincoln Calling in a virtual capacity, can be probably the best we can do. I can tell you, Deb, that it is something right now that the pent-up demand for staycations and the pent-up demand that people want to just get out and get into our hotels. And if you had to look at a threat dial right now, hotels are so low on the threat dial for COVID spread, and it rates right up there with outdoor activities and camping. That tells you for an indoor venue, that's pretty cool that you can go to hotels and be assured of safety. So we're going to work through some things and come up with some staycation packages and partner the best we can, but there's in no way we could replace what this event was originally intended to do.
Well, Spencer, I like your component about the messaging and the fact that it will be selling Lincoln globally and maybe having that impact, on down the road. So
I think
so. Creative idea.
Yeah, I think so. I think, if we're able to show that we can get through this, I think next year will be bigger and better. I think we're going to have folks that realize that Lincoln's got it going on, even in a pandemic, and I think we're going to find new folks regionally. We're spending a lot of this money within college towns and cities within 500 miles of the city. Folks that are going to come in future years after they tune in and watch this stream, they'll want to come and see what Lincoln's about in real life in the future.
Okay.
Well, this is exactly what Lincolnites need right now,
Yes.
as far as that goes too, even Nebraska.
Thank you.
So I've always taken part in Lincoln Calling for as many years as I can recall now. And it's a huge thing here in Lincoln, and it's really, and I'm excited to see what might happen next year.
Yeah.
Or in the following years, with attracting people to Lincoln. I also want to say my family's been participating in the fundraisers for Lincoln Calling, which brings a band to your home, and it also feels a little bit normal to get together with just a few friends and
Is
have a
that
band.
still going on, to bring a band to your home?
This Friday's the last.
It is, yeah. We have been partnering with Zipline Brewery and the Grotto, and you can buy a product from Zipline and the Grotto, and then a band will deliver the product to your door and play 3 to 5 songs for you on your front step or your back porch or whatever you may be. So we've been very successful. We've had, I think, around 10 to 15 performances every weekend from 3 different bands, and they've sold out every weekend.
And the performers have been glad to play in front of an audience.
Oh, yeah, they're super excited.
People, right?
Right.
Yeah. And then also, we've helped out with the Hub and Soul concerts that are happening at the parks, and we are excited to the future of that as well. For 2021, we may do more with the parks and our outdoor spaces as well. So,
I think it's just fantastic. I remember when this was a house show. So I'm all about it.
Well, hearing all of that, we appreciate your work to continue through this difficult time, and everybody understands the challenges we're facing with the Visitors Promotion Fund, especially our friend Jeff, but I'm going to move approval of this grant.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, guys.
thank you, councilors.
Keep up the good work, my friends.
5J is notice of termination of county contract C-20-557 with commercial investment properties doing business as Staybridge Suites, Lincoln I-80.
Move approval?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. K is an agreement with Aspen Properties, Inc., doing business as New Victorian Suites for alternative housing for essential employees of the Lancaster County Sheriff's Office, the Lancaster County Department of Corrections, and the Lancaster County Youth Services Center. The cost of county will be $57 per night per employee utilizing the housing.
Move approval.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
I just want to thank New Victorian Suites for being willing to enter into this agreement. I'm hoping we don't need it, but I'm glad we have it available.
Agreed. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. L is a memorandum of understanding with Home Depot Pro to provide janitorial supplies and equipment. The MOU will be effective upon execution through May 31st, 2021, with the option of renewing for 9 additional one-year terms. The cost of county is not to exceed $100,000.
Move approval.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Please call the roll.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 5M has been requested to be held by purchasing. N is a lease agreement between Lancaster County as lessee and Lincoln Transportation and Utilities as lessor for office space and facilities for adult probation located at 901 West Bond Street in Lincoln, Nebraska. The lease term is September 1st, 2020 through August 31st, 2021.
Move approval?
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. O are documents related to the renewal of Lancaster County insurance policies. This includes policyholder disclosure of notice of terrorism coverage, client authorization to bind coverage, privacy disclosure statement, Nebraska selection of higher underinsured motorist coverage limits, and Lancaster County statement of values.
Move approval?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 6 is update on COVID-19 on Lancaster County response.
Anyone have anything on COVID-19 update and response?
As of Sunday evening, our entire Sprague shop, plus the supervisor for the district in that area, and one other employee has been put on quarantine due to a positive COVID test in the Sprague shop. So we are in a difficult position now in county engineering in that we have lost 50% of our field employees on the south end of the county for the next 2 weeks. And I will just, since I really have no other solution than to ask the public for leniency and understanding as we continue to try to maintain the roads in South Lancaster County.
I have a question. Hiring temporary employees, is that a possibility for you, or is it because this machinery is highly specialized that would not be an option?
The machinery is highly specialized, as is the work. So by the time that we would get a contract to be able to get employees to be able to do that, and/or other contractors, we would be out of the quarantine period.
Okay.
So.
All righty. Well, I think our best wishes go out to all those who are quarantining right now. It's an unfortunate situation.
I'm hoping the quarantine doesn't expand, nor does the positive COVID test. So we're just going to keep our fingers crossed. We've made it a long time. We work very close. I think that oftentimes people forget that we are essential workers, and so in engineering operations, we have come to work every day and tried to make the best of the scenario. And so this is unfortunate, but I think we've been really lucky not to have something like this happen before now.
Your staff's done really good work through really hard times.
They have.
We wish them well.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else on COVID-19? We'll move down to public comment.
Those wishing to speak on items relating to county business not on the agenda may do so at this time.
Commissioner Vest, you got a...
I do have one item, and we do have a new member of our team / family that we probably all met, but it was very brief, and I just thought we might invite Eric to come forward and introduce himself in a little greater detail.
Yeah.
Thank you. My name's Eric Sinowicki. I'm very happy to be working with each of you. I've worked with Dave Durbin a little bit in the Lancaster County Attorney's Office. So as I indicated to Commissioner Shore, because I did have some time to discuss my previous history with her, I graduated from law school at Nebraska in 2017, and I clerked for Justice Stacy at the Nebraska Supreme Court for a year. After that, I moved to Omaha in civil litigation at a law firm called Lamson, Dugan, and Murray, and that calling, unfortunately, was not for me. So I decided to leave after about 6 months and look back for something here in Lincoln in public service. And so at that time, I took the first opening in the Lancaster County Attorney's Office, which was child support. And so I enforced all 11,000 cases at that time for about a year and a half, and we've been fortunate enough now to have 3 attorneys in that division, so that should help out there. So after training those 2 new attorneys, now I've moved over here, and I look forward to being a part of the civil team for the long haul, and so I look forward to working with each of you, and hopefully, as I get more experience, can answer most, if not all, of your questions. So.
Very good.
Great.
Well, welcome.
Are you from Lincoln then, Eric? or
I'm
you
from Omaha, actually. So,
grew up in Omaha?
yep, that's where I grew up. But I've spent the last 8 out of the last 9 years here in Lincoln. So, yeah.
Very good. We're glad to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Next is announcements. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold a staff meeting on Thursday, September 24th, 2020 at 8:30 a.m. in room 112, the County City Building. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will tour the Lincoln Sports Foundation Sports Complex on Thursday, September 24th, 2020 at 1 p.m. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold its next regular meeting on Tuesday, September 29th, 2020 at 9 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building. County Commissioners can be reached at 402-441-7447 or commish@lancaster.ne.gov. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting is broadcast live on Link TV City. For the rebroadcast schedule, visit lincoln.ne.gov. Meetings are also streamed live on Link TV and can be viewed on YouTube.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for adjournment. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.